As Japan continues to renew its false territorial claims over Korea's easternmost Dokdo Island, we saw if we could get there from Japan. Our Lee gave it a shot.
Japan has made repeated claims to Korea's Dokdo Island, but in that case, shouldn't it be possible to get to Dokdo from Japan? After all, it's relatively easy to get to Dokdo from Korea, and 100 to 200,000 people go there every year, while an estimated 1.8 million people are expected to have visited the islets by next year, since the islets first opened to the public in 2005. We thought that it should be possible for a country that claims sovereignty over Dokdo, like Japan, to provide its citizens with passage to the islets. So we set out to see if it was possible. After landing at Japan's Yonago airport, we went to Shichirui Port in Shimane Prefecture, where we caught a ferry. After 2 hours on board, we landed on the Oki Islands. Japan's northwest archipelago is the country's closest point to Dokdo at a distance of 157 kilometers. And to support their argument that Dokdo belongs to Japan, posters and monuments on Dokdo are displayed around the island. For example, right at the disembarkation point, visitors are greeted by a sign that reads, "Dokdo is and has always been part of the Oki Islands." Japan claims to have incorporated Dokdo, or Takeshima as they call it, into the Oki Islands in 1905, a claim that Seoul rejects. Dogojima is the inhabited island furthest from the Japanese mainland, and no cruise ships or ferries sail any further west from here. So we got onto a small fishing boat to see how close to Dokdo we could get.
今まで船で竹島に行ったことあるんですか？
ないですね。
で、ご先祖様とか昔はなんか100年前にメチっていうか取りに行ったって気がする、聞いたんだけど、聞いたことありますか？
聞いたことはあるけど、
実際行ったことある人は
行ったこと知らない。
知らない。
テレビで話は聞いてたね。
なるほどね。
But after getting about 14 miles from Dogojima, we had to head back because the waves were getting too high. In fact, Japanese boats can't get any closer than 12 nautical miles, or a bit over 22 kilometers from Dokdo. According to the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea from 1982, that's the limit for a country's territorial waters. A similar law was passed in Korea in 1977, whereby the Korean Coast Guard patrols the islets 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, within the 12 nautical mile zone. Now, even though we couldn't get to Dokdo from Japan, we visited several places on the Oki Islands that claim Dokdo is Japanese territory. The Kumi Takeshima History Museum displays a number of pictures and maps of Dokdo, as well as records of Japanese fishermen's activities on the islets. Our guide was Maeda Yoshihiki, a councilman who's contributed a great deal to getting the museum built and worked to raise awareness of Japan's claims to Dokdo to the Japanese people. He's also the person who put up the Dokdo billboard that reads, "Give back Takeshima and the sea."
I put this billboard here because it's the people from this village who went to Dokdo to fish before historical issues became sensitive issues, and after which they could no longer go.
Japan has been relentless in its attempts to breach the 12 nautical mile territorial limit, as it did in 2006 amid heightened diplomatic tensions between the two countries. Its patrol boats still get within 13 nautical miles of Dokdo about twice a week, but the attempts have always been blocked by the Korean patrol boats guarding the island. Mr. Yoshihiki hopes to visit Dokdo someday, but it's unlikely he'll ever make it. Although Japanese citizens can get to Dokdo through Korea, they don't get much encouragement from the Japanese government, as that would be an acknowledgement that there is no official way for Japanese people to reach Dokdo without going through Korea. Lee, Arirang News, Oki Islands.